One can stay in the water.
When the society starts to falling apart a bit, because some of the dolphins suddenly realize their way, which is the name of the book, the dolphin way, doesn't work properly anymore, and then it's like an adventure story, what happens to a few dolphins, with one in particular, and follows what occurs when this whole stress situation starts to break their society up a bit.
Because when you sort of first think a novel or a story about dolphins, you'd think, that's got to be a kid's story, doesn't it?
Yeah, because people think like it's Watership Down meets Flipper or something.
Yeah.
But no, it's not. It is intended for adults, and I think most adults are quite happy to accept fantasy.
Yeah.
I mean, you take something like Tolkien, Lord of the Rings. It's not a kid's book.
No.
And most adults are quite happy to accept talking trees and talking trolls and orcs and stuff. Why not dolphins? And the interesting thing is, I mean, you take J.K. Rowling and her imaginary world, or Tolkien and his imaginary world. The great thing about this is it's in my imaginary world, but these are real creatures that actually exist.
Yeah.
And if you get interested in this, that was my idea of writing it, was to try and make people think, wow, we actually live with something else that intelligent. Then, hopefully, they're going to want to preserve those creatures and take care of them.
Tell you what, we'll play a quick song. We'll come back in just a moment, all right?
Sure.
So we're talking about Dolphin Way, Rise of the Guardians, with author Mark Caney. First novel. Wow, first novel. How did you enjoy the experience of writing the novel? Small puddle, really, a small swimming pool, in effect.
Yeah.
And it must be terrible for them. It's like being in prison.
Yeah, I can't say I approve of that. Dolphins are meant to be out in the open spaces. They use sound to navigate, so they transmit pulses of sound, and then they hear the echoes coming back. You imagine a creature like that in a small concrete tank for the rest of its life, and it can't be good for them. So I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with the kind of experiences where you can pay and you go out on a boat, and if the dolphins come to you or not, it's their choice. Great, fine. But to keep them in a concrete tank like that can't be good for them.
Yeah. And where are good places around the world to see dolphins?
Well, they tend to prefer tropical waters.
Yeah.
Anywhere where there's tropical waters, you have a good chance of seeing them. The nearest place to the UK where you could pretty reliably see them would be parts of Egypt, I'd say. But some parts of the Mediterranean get them regularly. And in fact, we get them around our coast. There are some areas which have been particularly famous for them. For example, off Ireland, they used to have some dolphins, well known. And not far from here, down in the sort of Cornwall area, you regularly see dolphins.
And is there a way of attracting them if you're out there on your holidays on a boat? Is there some way that they might come towards you?
The local operators usually know which bits the dolphins like to inhabit. And one thing, for example, dolphins like to do is they love surfing.
Yeah.
Dolphins like to play. One of the few wild animals that actually do. And where they haven't got real waves to surf in, they'll happily surf in the bow wave of a boat, and they'll ride it like we would ride a wave, literally. Yeah. So that's a good chance to see them if you're
do they like the interaction with humans, do you think?
Well, I can imagine they are naturally cautious, because an awful lot of them are killed by people, usually accidentally in things like nets.
Yeah.
We kill a lot through the tuna fishing industry, for example. And although we've taken steps to improve that, it's not great. So, yeah, it's understandable they'd be cautious, but sometimes they do seem to want to do that. And another weird thing is there have been a lot of examples where a human being's been in trouble in the sea and dolphins have helped them and even saved their life. Why are they doing that? Who knows?
Yeah. It's a good nature. I mean, you never hear a sort of